why your close associate, Mr. Nipi Rio, why he moved away from Congress and joined your party instead. Because he was in the ruling government and you were mostly in the opposition.
I know.
So you were not in the same party before.
I hope he will not mind if I speak the truth.
And by the time the then the Lok Sabha MP of Nagaland, Mr. Nipi Rio, he came into the picture again in the Nagaland politics. And now I want to understand why he was not able to form the same government with your party, why he was not able to join your party. He was rejected by your party or he voluntarily moved out of the party?
No, not rejected.
Specifically, since you mentioned Mogokchung, and when you talk about Mogokchung, it reminds me of Dr. S.A. Jamir as the influential political figure of Nagaland. Around the same time you were active. How was your relationship with him? Hello everyone, welcome to the Lungleng show. Today I would like to introduce a very, very important figure in the politics of Nagaland. And he's Dr. Shürhozelie Liezietsu. And he's from Kohima. And he has served in politics for more than almost about 6 decades. And he is instrumental when it comes to the formation of Nagaland People's Front. It used to be named as Nagaland People's Front, which later it changed its name to Naga People's Front. And he has been in politics for quite a long time, as we have learned. And I think one very important thing to mention about his involvement is that he started involving in politics since 1969, and he also helped in the formation of United Democratic Front. And that was a political party that was formed, and as a regional, I think that is the second oldest regional party in India, and the first regional party in all over Northeast. And that later became a party which is popularly known as Naga People's Front. And he was instrumental in the formation of Naga People's Front in 2002. And later on, he contested in the election in 2003, and he got elected from Northern Angami-I constituency in Kohima. And then he became the Minister for Housing and Urban Development later on. And he again contested in 2008, and he got elected. And since 2013, he relinquished the position as an MLA, and he paved way for other candidates, who was close to him. And now, he was still serving since 2002 until 2023 October as the president of a very influential political party in Nagaland, known as the Naga People's Front, as the president of that party. And all in all, he's a very influential figure in the area of politics in the state of Nagaland. And it did not just end there. He had served as the Chief Minister of Nagaland for 5 months even, from February 2017 to somewhere July 2017. And I think it will be very interesting to get to know his views on many issues that surround us and that has engulfed us in the larger context of Naga political problem, as well as in the larger context of Nagaland politics. And I believe this is a wonderful time to have him on our show and talk about the politics and issues in the state of Nagaland. Now that he has exited politics, he has retired from politics, it will be a better time to have this conversation so that we can get to know his exact view on what he has been thinking about on all these matters and issues. So it's an honor, sir, to sit in front of you and have this conversation with you today. Now that you have retired from politics, I would like to understand what are you busy at? How are you how are you using your time nowadays as a retired politician?
Well, I'm born to this party, the only regional party in Nagaland, NPF. I'll die from this party, and therefore, even if I retire from the presidency, I still take myself as one of the active members of the party. So sometimes I spend time with all colleagues discussing about the party affairs. But otherwise, most of the time I concentrate on my literature these days. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I become a gardener also.
Mm-hmm. So gardening is your hobby?
Well, I was very active in my younger days.
I see.
Although I was busy in the office, I spent at least 1 or 2 hours almost every day in my garden.
Oh, and as I learned about your story, you graduated from St. Edmunds.
Yes.
Which year was it? It was in the 50s?
1961.
1961. And I want to understand, in those days, we had hardly few educated people and few graduates which are countable.
Yes.
What was the reason and what made you pursue your education till that stage in your time?
I sometimes tell my friends, we are self-made people because there was nobody to guide us. There was nobody to advise us. We just go on blindly, pursuing our studies. And then, fortunately, I did my graduation in 1961.
So can you share briefly your experience during those student days in Shillong, in St. Edmunds? Like, what was the best things that happened and how it used to be in your time those days at St. Edmunds?
You know, when I joined college in 1958, there were only very few Naga students in Shillong those days. And maybe we have very few elders to guide us also.
Yep.
And so we look up to those few seniors as our guides, consult them in everything. And it was a very good company. Less people will respect one another. And we had very good company. Although we belong to different colleges and institutions, Naga students come together in Naga service on Sundays. And there's that time where we meet with one another. And
that's beautiful. So when you look back, it must be very nostalgic when you look back.
That's right.
Yeah, it's been 6-7 decades ago now.
Yes.
Yes. Now, once you graduated from St. Edmunds, you headed back directly to Kohima?
Yes.
And what did you do after that?
For 2-3 months, I joined Nagaland Secretariat. In the meantime, Mrs. Rano Saiza called me to come up to BE School, Baptist English School,
I see,
to help her. So I joined BE School in 1963. No, I mean 1962. I was there for about 9 months only. Then 1963, my people wanted to start a school in the Kohima village in memory of one of our Kel leaders who died, Tenovicha by name. I told them, I'm fresh from the college, I have no experience. How could I run a school? But since there was nobody, they asked me again to come up. So I came up to Kohima village and I started the Tenovicha Memorial School in 1963. I was there up to 1967.
Oh. And then you served as teacher and you ran a school from 1963 to 1967.
Yes.
And then after that, you joined politics in 1969. What made you join politics?
No, not
It was
direct.
not that? Okay.
You know, I left school. Government asked me to go for BT because to become headmaster of a school, BT is a requisite qualification. So they appointed me as assistant headmaster, and they asked me to spend 1 year in Guwahati. Those days, BT only 1 year. But I told them that it's not possible for me to pursue further studies. I thanked them profusely, and then I left. Then 68, I have become a businessman.
Okay.
3 of us jointly purchased a Tata.
I see.
And then we started business. While I was in TM school as headmaster, my salary was rupees 500 per month. Those days, it was a big money, of course.
It is, I'm sure.
But then when I started earning with my vehicle, that Tata earns more than 200 rupees a day. So I say, yes, this is the one, I have to go. So I thought I would become a very rich man. And I enjoyed that business life.
Right.
Every day I go down with my Tata, brought things from, for different shops and collecting some, commission. Then that time my people, the 1969 election was approaching. My people came and asked me to go for election. I said, flatly refuse, because that was not in my mind. Then they came again and again. Of late, I thought if I refuse lately, and someday if I need the help of my people, that consideration
can be there.
Made a new decision.
Okay.
So finally I consulted my pastor, an old man, Reverend Pehile. He advised me, well, politics is like Zoom field. Government service is like terrace field. That's what he remarked.
Okay.
But if your people wanted your service that way, you tell them. You give your consent. And then he prayed for me. That morning I came up and I informed my people that I'm ready for election. But I told them I have no money and I do not know how to campaign also for a political party, although I was very much there in that party from the very beginning.
Okay.
As a worker, as a runner. But they say, we'll look after everything by ourselves, don't worry. And accordingly, they did everything by themselves in the first 1969 election. When I lodged my actual expenditure, I spent 762 rupees in my first election.
Okay.
Nobody believes.
I see.
But that is in the record.
Right.
And that was my actual expenditure.
Okay, from your own pocket.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was the second election, right after Nagaland state.
In Nagaland, yeah.
State after Nagaland attained its statehood, right? So around that time, how was the politics in Nagaland? How did the politics in Nagaland look like?
Nagaland politics was very simple those days. There were only two parties. One was Congress Aligned,
right?
NNO Party, Naga Nationalist Organization.
Okay.
And the other was Unite for Front of Nagaland. That was in '69. Only two parties.
Only two parties.
We were very small in number, but we talk everything on the floor of the assembly without hesitation. And therefore, those days, we were branded as legal organization of the illegal organization. Legal party representing the illegal organizations. This is how they branded us.
Okay.
And we were treated very badly, of course. Even military with 3 stars, 2 stars, they do not hesitate to quarrel with us. All the time when they arrested our people, we used to quarrel with these army officers. Those days, Indian army was not like these days.
I see. I see. So the reason you were branded as a legal organization representing the illegal organization,
they feel that we belong to NNC Federal Government of Nagaland.
I see.
That is the meaning behind it.
Okay.
Because in the assembly, we talk about Naga solution.
Right. Wow.
16-point agreement was signed. I don't say it's good, it's bad, but it was not inclusive. You know, the day when the 16-point agreement was signed in Delhi, there was protest all over Nagaland and the underground fire in every district.
I see.
we have been told. And the day the team landed in Dimapur also, there were big protests, firing all over Nagaland, because it was not inclusive. And so we feel that may not be good for the Naga people. They may not be permanent for the Naga people. So we started talking about a political settlement again in the assembly. And accordingly, 1964, an agreement, ceasefire was agreed upon and between the government of India and the federal government of Nagaland. We thought we won in our attempt.
I see. I see. So that means you all played some role in bringing the NNC and the government of India together to sign that peace agreement?
No,
a ceasefire?
No, that was mostly done by the church leaders.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. So the idea and the, let's say, the attempt to resolve the push for Naga problem settlement, political settlement, started already by 1960s, since as soon as the state attained its statehood.
This party, the party to which I belong, from the very beginning till date, we feel that there should be a settlement, political settlement in Nagaland, and that should be honorable, that should be inclusive. That is our stand. We don't change that till today.
Till today. So can you define for me, what does it mean to be inclusive?
Inclusive means all group. We have to take all group into consideration. Because those days, the NPC made 16-point agreement without the undergrounds. That was, so I said it was not inclusive.
And that did not actually solve the actual problem.
No,
right?
No,
because
never.
That was not inclusive.
Never. We enjoyed the fruit of the 16-point agreement for so many years now. But as far as the solution of the Naga problem is concerned, it failed. Miserably failed.
And was that one of the reasons why you wanted to involve in politics from 1969?
As I said, that was not in my mind, but when my people asked me, I entered into politics. But I was there. It was in my blood from the very beginning. I was in the underground for 2 years.
Oh, you were?
Before I joined college.
I see. I see. Wow.
And in this first political party, we call it DPN, Democratic Party of Nagaland.
I see.
Which was set up by men like Uncle Kavitsasa, Vizol, Tajen, these people. I was there right from the very beginning in 1964. My brother-in-law contested from Northern Angami-I, from Kohima village. I was his chief agent.
Chief agent.
In 64.
Wow, that's...
And 69 I became the candidate.
Wow, that's long time ago. But why didn't you join Congress as your political party? Was it the conscious choice that you join other UDF rather than Congress in the 1969 election?
I believe in the goodness of the Naga people. And when the Naga people talk about their political right, I believe in that. I'm convinced, rather. And India is considered to be the largest democracy in the world. And in such a place, we have our full right to express our democratic rights. When Naga people has a story, we have to talk about it, and we have to stand for that. And therefore, this party, from the very beginning till date, we stand for that.
Now that you joined politics in 1969, and then you were always involved in politics, you were part of politics, you were part of the government in different capacities since then. And your peak came when the Naga People's Front was formed in 2002, where you became the president of the party. So how did your life change since then, once NPF government was formed?
We were buoyed. We were very happy when we formed the government in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
But I think to have the power, it is also a responsibility. And since our party was not, I do not know the present intention of the government, it was not in the good book of the central government those days.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore it was not easy to run the government.
Mm-hmm.
Always we were treated as opposition. Therefore it was not very easy. But I think the present government is doing well, except that they have reduced the Nagaland politics into money politics.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very sad thing.
Can you explain further what do you mean by money politics?
Money politics, those days when we campaign for our election, we'll go to one village, gather all the villagers in a particular place, speak to them about the Naga problem, and we tell them that we want to solve this problem amicably, honorably. That is sufficient. We don't spend money. But these days, you cannot play politics with such kind of campaign.
Right.
Unless you have money. But the unfortunate thing is that if money plays the most important part in politics, the intellectuals have no place.
Correct.
That's the saddest part.
Correct.
And without those intellectuals, whether a group of people, a group of rich people coming together can really serve the interests of the people, that's the big question.
Absolutely.
I don't mean to undermine the rich people.
Absolutely.
Rich people are also very good people. Many very good people are there. But on the whole, we have to say that if intellectuals do not have any place in politics, our future is grim.
That's a very good point, sir. That's a very good point. And since when did you start feeling that the role of money has now started playing a huge role in elections? Because you entered into politics in 1969, and since when did you start feeling that money has now found its own place?
For me, I never used money in my election. Those days when people talk about spending money during election, particularly in Mokokchung district, they say that they have spent 10 lakhs, they say that they have spent 20 lakhs. We don't believe them. But I think of late, we feel they must be telling the truth. If it goes that way, election may do more harm than good.
Specifically, since you mentioned Mokokchung, and when you talk about Mokokchung, it reminds me of Dr. Jamir as the influential political figure of Nagaland. Around the same time you were active. How was your relationship with him?
Well, an old man. I respect my elders all the time. Even now I respect him. But in some of the political philosophy, I do not agree with him. That's all. I don't want to go further. But I respect him.
But he was serving as the Chief Minister for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And you were also here around the same time in politics.
I was in opposition all the time.
You were in opposition all the time, until 2003.
Yeah.
Right. So what were the main disagreements that you had with him from political points of view? Not personally, but from political points of view, what were your major disagreements with him?
Let me not go that far. Huh?
Okay. Okay, it's best not to.
I have already said that somewhere in the political philosophy, I cannot agree with him on some points. That's all. Otherwise, as a person, I respect him as one of my elders. And then, a person to become a leader of this stature without God's blessing is not possible. I agree to that.
I would agree to that. I would agree with that. And then, since now, okay, let's come back to, can you shed light on why your close associate, Mr. Nipi Rio, why he moved away from Congress and joined your party instead? Because he was in the ruling government and you were mostly in the opposition.
I know.
So you were not in the same party before.
I hope he will not mind if I speak the truth.
Please.
He was Home Minister under S.C. Jamir. Very strong person that time. 2000, when Jamir published a booklet under the style The Bedrock of Nagaland, I have heard that Nipi was not happy with that book, the contents of that book.
I see.
So I thought I got an opportunity to talk to him. I called him, but he was not taking interest of meeting me. But I have called him and we met together. I have explained my position to him. I explained the position of the Nagas to him. We parted. Second time we met. And by that time, I have already set up a unity of the opposition in Nagaland with the blessing of George Fernandez in Delhi.
The interlocutor.
I talked to NDM, led by Mr. Hokishe, Dr. Hokishe, and Mr. Chishi. Those days, NDM, they called themselves.
I see.
Then I talked to BJP, led by Dr. Nikhaho and NC Zeliang. And of course, the governor, the last governor of Nagaland, Mr. Acharya, late Acharya,
right,
who was known to me for a long time.
Okay.
So I talked to these people, and we have already agreed upon to have to come together in the style of opposition parties of 1977 in Delhi. 1977, all the opposition parties came together and defeated Congress. So on that line, George Fernandez advised us to bring together all the opposition parties. And I approached BJP, I approached NDM, and then George Fernandez himself talked to somebody in some parties in Delhi. So about 6-7 of us came together. I told Nipi to come over and take over as leader. And finally he also agreed. So we were very happy.
Wow.
Like that.
Okay. So
I hope he will not feel bad if I tell the truth.
I think knowing the truth is important for our for the upcoming generation.
Yeah.
I don't find any bad things about it. So I think this is it's very important to know this. So I think it's interesting. But on the other hand, in an article written by R.N. Ravi, the former interlocutor as well as former governor of Nagaland, he accused NBF that it was the NSNIM who propped up Mr. Nipi Rio to lead the Nagaland state government as opposed to Dr. S.C. Jamir. Was there any involvement of the Naga National workers in bringing that?
Mr. Ravi, a person very outspoken, but sometimes he also speaks too fast. So it may not be wise to, give comment on what he has said. But I like him because he's very frank.
I see.
I know him.
And I think you were in the opposition since 1969. That means for almost 3 decades, let's say about a little more than 3 decades, you were in the opposition. But I want to know what kept you going despite the fact that you were never in the ruling.
Pardon?
You were never in the ruling for 3 decades. Until
because of our political stand. And even now, many people feel that we oppose the government of India. No, it is not. We play our democratic part only, and we speak the truth. But many people take us that way. So because of that, most of the time we're in the opposition. But there is no regret for that. We speak our mind in the interest of the Naga people. No regret whatsoever.
But at any point of time, were you lured by the Congress to join their party during your time of opposition from 1969 to 2002?
No.
You were never approached?
No.
Why was it so?
So jokingly, I tell my friend, what kind of man I am? Congress never invite me to join them.
Okay.
Am I that a bad person for them, or cracking joke like that?
But in this current political scenario, in terms of the relationship between the center and the state, I mean, anyone could have just merged with the ruling government, but you did not, because they didn't approach, or you did not approach from your side as well, because you had your own stance, which did not go along very well with the political ideology of the Congress those days, given the situation of the Nagas.
You know, as I mentioned earlier, in 2003, BJP was part of us.
Yes.
But that time BJP was in opposition in Delhi.
Correct.
I was chairman of the coordination committee of the opposition group, I think I have given full justice. I did full justice to BJP. I have given them protection. And they also, that time, fully aware of their own position, they never demand anything. They work smoothly with us. But in 2018 election,
right,
after we have decided to, our candidate, to issue ticket to our candidate, Ram Madhav, the national secretary, BJP national secretary, with Rijiju, the present minister,
Kiren Rijiju,
they came and met me. Election was very near, and there was no time for us to change our decision by that time. By that time, they told me to have seat sharing with BJP. There was no such thing in the past. So I told Ram Madhav, we have been working together for so long. Why did you intentionally trying to embarrass me by this time? We have all decided everything. But he started demanding 15 seats.
Out of 660.
Seat sharing.
Right.
15 seats out of 60.
Correct.
So finally we told him that, well, if it is so, we'll consider. But we cannot commit 15 at the moment. It may be more, it may be less. But we'll try to do something. But it's not good to embarrass one another at this 11th hour. That's what I told him. But later on we came to know that he has already made agreement with the other party.
NDPP.
And then put us into embarrassment that way. He wanted, we met at 9:30, and then he wanted the answer before 2 on that day. So by that time, we could not make any decision. So we did not reply him. We kept quiet. Then the same evening at 5:30, they have announced their merger with other political party.
Okay.
Like that, We have no regret.
In fact, in 2018 election, Nagaland Assembly election, your party secured, came out as the single largest party in the election.
That's right.
But I want to understand why you were not able to secure that power and form the government.
Because these other parties had some kind of understanding. And Naga politicians, sometimes they become too scared of Delhi. So when BJP came together with NNDP, I think everybody feel that that's the right body to join. Maybe. I may not be right, but...
that's your speculation. But now, when we look at it, you have also served as the Chief Minister for roughly about 5 months. And those days, we could vividly remember the floor test between your group and the former CM TR Zeliang group. I want to understand now, as you look back, how did the rift between you and TR Zeliang begin?
The opposition party took advantage of this municipal election. Very interesting.
I see.
And then you're aware that a lot of situations have been created, even to the extent of losing human life, and the burning of government offices in the capital itself. By that time, they wanted to have a change in the party. I was not a member in the House that time because I have already resigned from politics from 2002.
2012.
It was in 2017.
Right.
After 5 years after I resigned. So I flatly refused. I'm not a member. How can I become Chief Minister? I knew that I have my constitutional right to be there 6 months, if need be.
Right.
But honestly, I did not eye for that. Then, when I refused, they all went to Assam. That resort.
Kaziranga.
Right.
Right.
Then, the same evening,
okay,
one pressman asked me from Guwahati over telephone, "Sir, what happened to your party?" "Well, they have all left, but I still hold the trump card," I told him. And he felt funny hearing me that I am still holding the trump card.
Okay.
After 2 days, all of them returned again and approached me again. I said, "I have refused you. I have no desire. People will believe me or not, but since I'm not a member, I'm not willing to take over." Then that evening, they started shouting at me. Then jointly they have gone up to TR Zeliang, I've been told, shouting at him also. So a number of them, few reasonable friends, themselves approached me the next day. Very reluctantly, I have given my consent.
Okay.
And the next day, I took over. And I'm grateful to the organizations, to the party and everybody. Once I took over, the situation all had gone down. I brought the agitating parties also one by one. I talked to them. By going to that extent, we have lost 2 precious lives. We have burned on about 24 offices. Even the secretariat could not work for almost a month. Who gains out of it?
Correct.
Why not we come together? You tell me, what should I do? I even sought their advice. And actually, I'm very grateful to them. They all have agreed with me. And by the grace of God, not for me, but by the grace of God, situation became calm again. I was there for 5 months only. 3 days short of 5 months.
Okay.
And my old friends, betrayed me again. I do not know their ambition. But for me, since I have not asked for it for myself, I have no regret also. And I think 5 months I was there, I did my best. It's for the people to talk about it, not me.
Okay, that's very interesting to know the story behind it. And at the same time, now, after you, Mr. TR Zeliang took over again as the Chief Minister. And that was in 2017, and everyone was ready for the next election. And by the time the then MP, the Lok Sabha MP of Nagaland, Mr. Nephew, he came into the picture again in the Nagaland politics. And now I want to understand why he was not able to form the same government with your party, why he was not able to join your party. He was rejected by your party, or he voluntarily moved out of the party?
No, not rejected. Earlier, late CM Chang was our Lok Sabha member.
Correct.
And Mr. Kekyo, late Kekyo,
yes,
was our Rajya Sabha member.
Right.
When general election came, both of them, they wanted to come and contest here again. And since they have, announced their candidature in their own constituencies, respective constituencies, there was nobody asking for a ticket.
Okay.
So we have given them the ticket. CM Chang won and stay here, continue in the government. Kekyo lost and he went back to the Rajya Sabha. Then that was the experience. Nephew was the Chief Minister at that time. I was the President. We had working committee meeting. Nephew himself told us that for Lok Sabha election, for Rajya Sabha election, we spend a lot of money. All the workers work very hard all over the state. And we won both the seats. And we sent Sim Chang for 5 months, 5 years, Kekyo for 6 years. Before they complete their term, both of them came. This is not proper. That's what Nephew himself said. And say, working committee, we have taken a decision based on what the Chief Minister has said. In future, the Lok Sabha member or the Rajya Sabha member, whoever he may be, before they complete their tenure, we will not allow them to come and contest here again until and unless party itself call him back.
Right. Okay.
That was the decision, written decision of the working committee.
Okay.
So, as you have mentioned, Mr. Rio wanted to come and contest before he completes his term in the Lok Sabha. I was very blunt sometimes. I don't have diplomacy. I'm always very straightforward. So I told them that it is his own decision. And so that is the decision of the party. Even if he comes, party may not give him the ticket. That's what I told him. And so, after a week, he resigned from the party and had gone to that new party. That was set up earlier for any eventuality, I tell you.
Okay.
And he was lucky to have that opportunity.
That means had the NDP not formed, he would not have anywhere to go except for BJP or Congress.
That's right. That's right. It was for any eventuality. He set up that party because he knew that his own decision, party may not go against that decision. That becomes the decision of the party.
Now, the election, Nagaland election was conducted in 2019 or 18. It was in 2018.
Yeah.
Nagaland election was conducted in 2018, right? So that was a few months before he completed his 5 years term as an MP.
That's right. That's right.
And that became the main problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I think, he secured the seat of Chief Minister after the election because he was able to bring other opposition parties or other parties, those opposition parties as in non-NBF party. But I would still want to understand, how did you misplay, despite the fact that your party was the single largest party in the election? How did you misplay slightly that you could not come to power?
Even if we brought all the parties together, of course, naturally, each party will try to see that they get maximum.
Right.
So we did that. But 2003 election, we could get only 19. Congress got 23. But with those alliance partners,
correct,
we could form the government. BJP won about 7 seats in the first election in 2003.
I see. I see. But how is your position now, where you were able to work hand in glove with the BJP those days, and since the last election in 2018, you were not able to work along, and I mean, you have been a close ally of BJP.
We're not against anybody.
Right.
We speak and we stick to our own policy. That's all. We're still having an alliance with BJP in Manipur state.
Yes.
We're not against BJP. But here in Nagaland, it was BJP who played mischief with us.
I see.
It was Ram Madhav who played mischief with us.
So had you given like 15 seats sharing to BJP in 2018, that means NBF would still continue to rule the state.
I don't know. But even if we agree to give 15 seats to them that morning, whether they will cancel that agreement with other parties again, that is not certain.
That's not certain.
They will become embarrassed again.
Okay. But one good thing one certainty was that he came to you first before he went to NDPP. Was that correct?
They were together with us for many years, I should say.
Okay.
But they had some secret understanding with NDPP. Only after that they came to us and bargained 15 seats.
Or was it also largely responsible because NPF party was in shambles in a sense? There was a rift between your leadership, let's say, and TR Zeliang leadership. So because of that shake or because of that instability within the NPF party, the BJP seemed to have lost trust in your party, so they went to other party?
No, there is no such thing. No such thing.
Okay. Despite the rift between...
We were together for many years. We fought the election together in 2003, in 2008, and 2012. When they came to power in 2014, we were very happy. Then situation turned otherwise.
But your close association with BJP as an ally, I mean, do you think BJP is way better when it comes to Naga political problem? That's why you had a close association with them rather than Congress?
Well, for Naga political problem, I do not want to differentiate BJP, Congress, or any other party. I'll say Indians. They are not sincere with us.
But when we look back, to your on your political journey, you had never associated with Congress or you had never been an ally of Congress, but you were ready to be an ally of the BJP. Does that speak some message that
Congress also, we were not against Congress. They themselves treated us as opposition, that's all. Otherwise, as far as Naga political problem is concerned, it's a matter between government of India and the Naga people. We always look at things from that angle.
And now coming back to the latest incident where around 23 or 21 NPF legislators moved or shifted towards NDPP.
21.
21.
To be exact.
To be exact, right? So that was about some few years ago. And that started as the downfall of NPF, the so-called very influential NPF party. That became as the downfall of the NPF party. So why did you think that happened?
You know, in a political party, the president and the leader of the parliamentary group should work hand in hand, like husband and wife. Even if one remains sincere, if the other is not sincere, we find very difficult to talk about it. In our party, I was the president, TR Zeliang was the leader of opposition. And he defected with 20 legislators. 4 legislators only refused to follow him. 20 of them followed him. 20 out of 20, 14 of them were ex from the very beginning. They were not given ticket. 7 of them, including TR Zeliang, were given ticket. Out of 7, 4 were defeated. 3 of them are in the assembly today. I think the play itself has shown without explanation how it happened. And TR Zeliang, once a chief minister, is now deputy chief minister. A very strange arrangement, you know.
Had they not defected, TR Zeliang could still be the chief minister today. That's what you're saying?
I don't want to comment. I don't want to comment about men like TR Zeliang. But politics, you know, when you talk about politics, Naga people should be sincere. And we have to work, we have to speak with morality. Many politicians today talk about settlement, unification of the Naga people without substance. How to bring together? You know, in what manner you have to approach them? Without substance, outwardly, when you talk about parrot learning phrases, it's not going to solve the problem.
How is your assessment on the performance of the current political party or current ruling government in Nagaland?
I think I better not talk about it. Only thing is that we are not encouraged to see that Naga politics, has been reduced to money politics, as I said earlier. And when there is no politics, what is the use of having a government? You know, 29 Indian states. Other states, when election comes, they are fighting for development. They argue on which party is doing better, who is doing better. But here in Nagaland, over and above that issue, our MLAs, our members cannot forget that issue, their own constituency. But the main thing about Nagaland politics, Nagaland political problem, we cannot allow this to continue for all time to come. We cannot allow one generation to hand over the same position to the next generation again. How long can we survive? Naga political problem counting from 1929. Naga Club submitting memorandum to the Simon Commission. Till today, it's almost a century now. No change. And people are becoming money-minded. Without money, you cannot play politics. Without money, you are not known in the society. If everything is reduced to that position, I think our future is not very encouraging also.
Do you blame the voters or the government of India or the Nagaland politicians?
We have to blame ourselves mostly now.
Okay.
But at the same time, Indian government also cannot escape the blame. You know, the Indian government at the top, we have our doubt whether they have proper understanding, whether they have the same approach. The Indian government and her agencies operating in this part of the country. We have doubt whether they have proper understanding or not. Other agencies means maybe army, maybe SIB, maybe state government. Who knows, maybe others also, which we may not know all. Yeah.
I think, now when we come back to Naga political problem,
yes,
we have seen different agreements signed, framework agreement and agreed position signed between different groups. And I think like you said, as long as the political settlement is not inclusive of everyone, there will not be lasting peace. That's something I really agree with you.
Yeah.
Because it will be a repetition of the history. What is your comment on that? What are you thinking about? IM
people, so far the biggest, the strongest group, they have entered into framework agreement in 1975.
2015.
2015, I mean. 2015. Then agreed position by the working group in 2017.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you have gone through the agreement papers. On many points, they have agreed, but they still have some differences in their framework agreement and agreed position also. How the Indian government to have two agreements with different points? Framework agreement is agreed upon. That is for the whole Nagaland. Agreed position also, once it should be for the whole Nagaland, not Naga people, I mean.
Yeah.
Then NNC is still outside. How Indian government is looking at the imbroglio? We cannot solve the problem in this manner. So I said Indian government is not sincere. That means they are not. They do not take due importance on this issue. But I tell you, I don't know whether it will be proper for me to say so, but India do not have friendly neighbors. They are playing a very dangerous game. We have to be very careful. Nagaland, small people, small area, will be crushed in between big powers. That's the greatest danger we face. We don't want to go through that.
Absolutely. I think we are being surrounded in the middle of world powers. So
yes.
The geopolitics, when we study the geopolitics, then we got to be more sincere in dealing with the problem.
When Mr. Rajnath Singh, the present defense minister, was home minister, I went there with my team, my party, and I met him. That morning, we told him, our group, sir, you people feel that we do not know anything going on this side. But for us, we feel we know something at least. Now, I think that was in 2014. We know that Chinese people have already set up a very big naval base in Bangladesh. having all sophisticated weapons.
Mm-hmm.
We know that in Coco Island, Burma, Chinese have already set up a very sensitive surveillance station watching the movement of the Indian Navy in the Bay of Bengal. We know that they are claiming Arunachal to be their land.
Mm-hmm.
And by that time, they were about to give some nuclear station in Burma also. We know all this. And therefore, we do not have peace of mind. All these are surrounding us. And all these are the expansion program of the Communist China.
Mm.
Nagas, we have only one weapon, and that is we are Christians. I told him, sir, if anything happens at this time, we do not know whether people can stand with us or not. Because a war, big or small, the local support is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore we have come to tell you all these things, and we feel that solution to the Naga political problem is urgent as ever before.
Mm-hmm.
That way we have told the Home Minister. By that time, Ravi was appointed, but we did not know him.
Mm.
One person was sitting with us. We did not know him.
Mm.
When we came up, Nagaland House officials told us, Ravi is there.
I see.
So Ravi, of course, listened to
Your conversation.
what we have explained to Rajnath Singh.
Mm-hmm.
We told him, we have heard that you have appointed a new interlocutor.
Mm.
And there were some organizations who are very critical about it.
Mm.
But since you have appointed him, I think you have to make best use of your choice. But in the past, SIB, they work only on paper. They do not go to the field. We know it. Mm. They collect information from the reporters, from the informers, and they send report to you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get the reality, what is going on in Nagaland. Mm-hmm. And therefore, whoever he is, you must send him down to Nagaland. Let him meet the people, let him meet the underground leaders of different organizations. Then he will come to know the reality, the real situation. Mm. Only then you will get true report about Nagaland. Mm. That much we have told Rajnath in the presence of Ravi without knowing him, and we left.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for sharing that. Which we seldom hear from the media, because that never went out to the media. But anyway, the last question would be: you are 88 years old.
Yes.
At this time,
I am.
What is your secret to this healthy living? Because you look. What is your secret to this healthy living and long life that you have achieved?
I don't know. Many people used to ask me.
Okay.
Once in a gathering with the youth, while I was Chief Minister, they asked me the same question.
I see.
So, jokingly, I told, no, I cannot tell my secret. My wife will not be happy. We had a good laugh.
Okay.
I think I have no specialty. Only thing is that I take my food in time. I take my medicines in time. I am a diabetic patient. Mm-hmm. So I take my medicine, I take my food in time. And maybe 2 or 3 times in a week, I work and sweat. That's all.
It's so overwhelmingly beautiful to hear your story. And it's so precious that you share us your thoughts and the history and the story of how your political journey has been and what happened behind closed doors sometimes. So this is a very, very important and interesting conversation that we have had.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this time.
Thank you.
And It's beautiful, and the young generation should know what happened in the past.
This media becomes very important.
True.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me and to us. Yeah. Thank you so much. And stay healthy, sir.
Okay, good day.
Thank you.